The airport was alive with chatter and rolling luggage when a sudden sharp bark sliced through the noise. A police dog, calm moments earlier, lunged with desperate intensity toward a 14-year-old black girl standing quietly in the security line. Travelers froze, eyes widening as officers rushed forward, hands already tense at their belts. The girl's face shifted from confusion to fear as people stepped back, whispering, recording, and assuming the worst. Something was happening, something no one understood. And within moments the entire airport would fall into a silence none of them would forget. Watch until the end. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more powerful and inspiring stories just like this one. Maya had never flown alone before. At just 14, she was traveling to visit her aunt for summer break, clutching the ticket her mother had handed her with a proud smile. The airport felt huge. Giant ceilings, long lines, glowing screens she barely understood. But she stayed close to the rope barriers, doing everything exactly as her mother taught her. Her backpack held her snacks, sketchbook, inhaler, and a tiny charm necklace her grandmother had pressed into her hand before she left. She felt nervous but excited, imagining the stories she'd tell when she landed. Meanwhile, a K-9 unit patrolled the area, the dog sniffing casually, uninterested in anything. Parents held their children's hands, workers scanned bags, and travelers scrolled through their phones. Everything felt normal, but then the dog froze, ears up, body locked. Maya didn't see the shift and didn't notice the officers turning in her direction. She had no idea her quiet trip was about to turn terrifying. The first bark made Maya jump. The second bark made the people around her scatter. In seconds, she found herself standing alone in a widening circle of shocked faces. The dog tugged violently toward her, barking as if warning the entire terminal of danger. Maya's throat tightened. She clutched her backpack straps with trembling hands. She hadn't done anything. She kept replaying her steps. She checked in normally, followed the line, kept her shoes tied, and kept her ID ready. But none of that mattered now. 2 officers rushed toward her. A third stepped behind her, blocking her path. People stared as if she were already guilty. She felt their judgment, like heavy stones, pressing into her chest. A few lifted their phones, recording, the tiny red lights flashing like accusations. The officer closest to her took her backpack with a firm motion. Another scanned her up and down as though searching for something hidden. Maya felt heat rising to her face. She wasn't dangerous. She wasn't suspicious. She was just a scared child trying to catch a flight. Then, one officer reached into the front pocket of her backpack and paused. His face hardened. He felt something small and oddly shaped. Maya's stomach dropped. She knew exactly what was inside. Her inhaler and the necklace charm. Nothing dangerous. Nothing wrong. But the officers exchanged looks, their suspicion growing. Before Maya could gather her courage to speak, the dog jerked sideways again, not toward her bag, but toward her arm, and that's when everything shifted. The barking stopped abruptly. Instead, the dog whimpered and nudged its nose gently against Maya's sleeve. Confused, the handler pushed the fabric aside. A tiny smear of dried blood appeared, something Maya hadn't noticed. She had scraped her arm earlier, rushing through the house to leave on time. The dog had detected the scent instantly. At that exact moment, a medical officer sprinted across the terminal, breathless and frantic. The airport had been tracking an alert. A passenger suspected of carrying a dangerous blood-borne infection had passed through minutes earlier, and automated systems had flagged the wrong person. The silence that followed was crushing. Travelers stared, officers froze, and Maya stood trembling, not because she was guilty, but because bias had made her the first target. The truth spread quickly, and the officers stepped back with visible embarrassment. And Maya wasn't the infected traveler. She wasn't a threat. She was a child who happened to be in the wrong place when the system made a critical mistake, and when assumptions filled the gap. Airport staff apologized, but the damage had already carved itself into her memory. Maya boarded her flight hours later, but the fear stayed with her. The moment strangers saw her as danger, the way suspicion landed on her before facts did. Her experience echoed stories heard worldwide. Stories of judgment, Stories of quick assumptions. Stories of children who grow up learning that sometimes the world looks at their skin before their innocence. How many more stories like this must happen before real change begins? Which country and city are you watching from? Take care.